Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Heaven Hollywood. And this is the Heaven Hollywood Experience. Today is, what is today? February 3rd, 2025. We're going to probably go for maybe an hour and a half or so. What's good, Milton, my brother? Free Diddy. All day. So, we got to talk real quick about the aftermath of the Grammys. Last night was the 67th annual Grammy Awards. It was built as a theme, the I Love LA theme, the LA recovering from the fires, the multitude of fires. So it was the LA recovering theme along with the I Love Quincy Jones theme. Rest in peace to the great Quincy Jones. But last night was mainly about LA slash Quincy Jones slash we're ending Drake tonight. That's what it became. Now, while Drake conveniently and very strategically planned to be in Australia this week, the Grammys plus the Super Bowl, because Drake pretty much has an idea right now of how this thing is going to go. He clearly sees that he doesn't have a lot of people in his corner. You know, a few fans, not many media people, because most media people really just go by status quo. Like, oh, you know, he shouldn't have put up a lawsuit in a battle. You know, there's really just go status quo, a lot of them. So you're not going to have a lot of media people on your side. You have your fans, but then a lot of Drake fans are not. You know, Drake has a lot of fans, but he does not have that cult-like following like Nicki Minaj. Like Nicki Minaj has like a cult-like following where you're gonna see, if you took account of Nicki Minaj's fans, like today it might be, oh, she's got 14 million fans, and then, you know, if you take account of Nicki Minaj's fans a year from now, it'll probably still be around 14 million. And then 5 years, you know, 5 years ago, it was probably still around 14 million. Like, so when you have a cult-like following, you have a fan base that don't really go nowhere. And your fan base pretty much stays the same because you have people who've been following you for years, and they're not going to turn their back on you now. Drake has more of the newer generation of fans where they're much more flip-floppity. Oh, 1 minute they're a Drake fan, the next minute when they see everybody getting on them, they become they're against Drake and they're saying something slick against him. Then when he puts out an album and everybody's talking about it, then they run back and say, yeah, I'm a Drake fan. And then when stuff like this happens, they go back and they're putting tweets against them. So you're like, wait a minute, I thought you were a Drake fan. But why are you sitting on him here on social media? Drake has more of that fan base. What's up, Lori? So even though he's got a lot of people that listen to his music, I think Drake has much more casual fans than, let's say, a Nicki Minaj would have. Right? A lot of people say, oh, I like that song. You know, like they'll like God's Plan, and then they'll start listening to Drake, but then they'll be like, yeah, but I didn't like the last 3 songs. No, I don't really like them. I thought I liked them, but I really just like God's Plan. Make sure you hit the like button, please. If you want to send a donation to help your boy support this channel, it is $Heaven Hollywood. There is super chats. Prefer cash app because YouTube takes half my money when I get a super chat. But cash app, you can definitely support the channel with the $Heaven Hollywood. Now, I was gonna make a video on the whole Nicki Minaj thing. Let's probably get into her first, because let me just put this. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. All right. I don't want people to take this the wrong way, and I don't want to look like I'm hating on somebody. But the fact that Doechi, and I'm not taking anything from Doechi, the fact that Doechi won a Grammy before Nicki Minaj just doesn't sit well with me. I think Doechi's hella talented, right? I think Doechi's hella talented. Take nothing from her. But the fact that she won a Grammy and she's up there on stage and she's doing her little performance thing, and I'm like, she reminds me a lot of Doja Cat in her performance. And Doja Cat reminds me a lot of Nicki Minaj in her performance. So I do get where she said, yeah, Eminem. I do get that. I get that. But damn. Right? Why don't they let me? Hold on. I don't know why they're not letting me stream to here. Anyway. So the fact that she won an award, she won a not just an award, she got her first Grammy before Nicki Minaj got one. Okay, we went through that with Iggy. I guess Iggy won a Grammy. We went through that with Cardi B. Um, we went through that with Megan Thee Stallion. You know, Lauryn Hill, we get it. Cardi B, the Invasion of Privacy album was a generational type album, like an album that had a lot of hits on it. All right, so if we're not expecting Cardi B, and she comes out of woodwork and she makes that Invasion of Privacy album, and they get her, okay, we get it, we get it. I can even get that. Megan Thee Stallion did a song with Beyonce. She's up under the Rock Nation umbrella. I get it. I don't even really have a problem with Megan. Because again, if you got songs with Beyonce and you got Beyonce co-signing, yeah, and you had a big sensation on TikTok, yeah, you're probably gonna win a Grammy. I can't give you Doechi. I can't. I can't. I can't and I won't. I cannot accept Doechi because it feels to me like this was just a Kendrick Lamar play, a Kendrick Lamar uh package deal. Oh, since Kendrick is going to be the hot one, let's take a artist that he represents and he rocks with, and let's give her the Grammys along with him. You know, like I said, Doechi's talented, and I like the way she's very unique as far as I'm gonna say unique. She's very creative. The whole scene, with the DJ, so I like that. That's creative. That's creative. But if you have not given Pink Friday or what was the one that had Super Freaky Girl on it? I'm gonna assume that was what. I don't even think that was on the album, but if you're not gonna get Pink Friday or the Pink Print or Queen a Grammy, if she can't even win a Grammy alone, you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot by any circumstances, under any circumstances whatsoever, can you give a Grammy to alligators and crocodiles, whatever the hell is alligators and the crocodile diaries, whatever the hell that album's called. Because me personally, up until she started doing this performance that she does, I have never heard one song by Doechi. I haven't. I haven't heard one song by Doechi. Big bro, you heard that new P&D Drake snippet? No, I didn't hear it. What's it sounding like? What's it sounding like? Big Low in the building, Low work in progress. That's my guy. Y'all go follow him. You talk about a talented rapper, a talented artist. Go follow Low work in progress. What's it sounding like, Big Low? They out for the Young Money crew. Sounds like a hit. Okay. Sounding like heat. That's what's up. I like it. I like it. I got a soft spot for Drake, and it's funny seeing Big Low and talking about Drake when talking about it. Low, this dude that's in here is responsible for putting me on the Drake. Cause Low will tell you when I first heard Drake, I was like, nah, that he ain't it, man. I remember we was in the parking lot of SCS, and I'm like, nah, he ain't it. And then Low was like, nah, man, you got to give him a chance. He got some shit. And I was like, I'll listen. He was sitting on our break, and Low popped in the mixtape. So he is the responsible one for putting me on the Drake. Yes, I heard Best I Ever Had and stuff like that on the radio, but I was like, nah, that ain't it. Nah, I don't like this. I don't like this dude. This dude's corny. But Low said, nah, check out the what was it? What was it? Off season or whatever his first mixtape was called. Doechi wasn't pushed in your face every 5 seconds. Didn't she do a couple of tracks with others? But they pushed Ice Spice. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that Doechi is a plant because Doechi's been around, right? She's been around, and it's hard to say plant if you have work and you see, oh, she's got 2, 3 mixtapes. That's why it was hard giving. That's why I never bought into, oh, Cardi B is a plant, because she actually had music, right? She actually had mixtapes. When you got people like Lil Pump and Lil Nas X, like these people came out of the woodwork and they didn't have any previous work, right? I do believe that Doechi was pushed at this certain time because of everything that's going on with Kendrick Lamar. That I do believe. And again, I don't want to sound like a Doechi hater. I'm just saying, for the history of hip hop and for the history of rap and for the history of this category, something about Doechi receiving a Grammy before Nicki Minaj, it's just something that just don't sit well with me. Don't sit well with me. Mhm. Hold on. Hold on a minute. I'm online. You know, and not to take anything away from Doechi, look, we're gonna see what she brings to the table this upcoming year. Like I said, she's very creative. She installs the DJ into the show, and I get all the animation. Like I said, she reminds me a lot of like Nicki Minaj mixed with Doja Cat, mixed with Eminem a little bit. That's what she kind of reminds me of, like Nicki, Doja, and Eminem mix, right? Matter of fact, she did the little uh the Doechi clone thing. She got that from Eminem. Now, uh, but her getting rap album of the year, I mean, I can see why they gave it to her. I was shocked that they didn't give it to Metro Boomin and Future when you got the Kendrick, when you got Kendrick, who pretty much stemmed from Metro Boomin and Future. When you got his song, because of the songs he made about Drake being record of the year and song of the year. Now, I want to get to that a little bit, as well as I want to get to Beyonce real quick, because if you remember this time a year ago, Jay Z stood up in front of the Grammys and said, it's ridiculous. How does she have so many Grammys and never won album of the year? Doesn't that sound ridiculous? And Jay Z planted the seed for his wife over a year ago. So when she put out that country album, and not to say it was a bad album, it was a good album. When she put out that country album, I pretty much inked it in stone. I said, I guarantee you, next year Beyonce's winning album of the year. Because Jay-Z planted the seed and said, doesn't it sound ridiculous that she's got 33 Grammys and never won album of the year? And then there's some people sitting there that realized that she didn't, and they all said, yeah, that is ridiculous when you think about it. The same thing should have been done for Nicki Minaj, whether it be Wayne, whether it be Drake, whether it be Baby. Somebody needed to stand up and say, listen, she's been rapping since 2010. They call her, consensus, they call her the queen of rap. You go and look down at the queen and king of every other genre in music, right? The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. He's got Grammys. The queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner. She's got Grammys. The king of R&B, consensus is R. Kelly. He's got Grammys. The queen of R&B, well, we have the queen of R&B hip hop. We've never had anyone really crowned the queen of R&B. The queen of R&B is consensus Mary J. Blige. She's got Grammys. The king of pop, Michael Joseph Jackson. He's got Grammys. The queen of pop, my girl Madge, Madonna Louise Chacon. She's got Grammys. A lot of people call Jigga the king of rap. If you want to go with Jay-Z being the king of rap, he's got Grammys. If you want to say it's Eminem, he's got Grammys. The queen of rap, no Grammys. Isn't that a little odd? It's a little odd for you to be called the queen of something, and granted, yes, it's a title that people give to that some people. I mean, it hasn't been coined as Nicki Minaj, but the majority of the people, when you say the word queen of rap, the majority of the people are going to say, "Oh, Nicki Minaj." I even think when you Google it, when you put in Google, who is the queen of rap? I think they even say Nicki Minaj. I think even Siri says Nicki Minaj. So even Siri thinks she's the queen of rap. So for a person to, queen of disco, Donna Summer, she got Grammys. I mean, one, not even one. You couldn't find one out of all these years. One? You know, my goodness. I can search down I mean, it's bad enough they robbed her for a new artist. So if you're going to rob her for new artists, you have to, where she should have won, you got to find somewhere else that she was supposed to lose, and you got to make up for it, right? Now, granted, Nikki has not handled herself well on this situation a lot of times. She's not handled herself well. She's not in my eyes. However, that's one of the few things that's like a championship ring, right? And regardless of whether people say, people that play sports, a lot of them say, "Oh, I don't care if I never win a championship. I was still great." Yeah, but you're not mentioned with the elites until you get that chip. As great as Charles Barkley was, Tim Duncan and they can always say, "Well, I was better than Charles Barkley because I got championships." And Kevin Garnett can always say, "Well, I was better than Charles Barkley because I got championships." Wherein you can look and see that Charles Barkley is probably better than these guys, but he's always going to be left out of a certain conversation because he has no championships. And being that Nicki Minaj has no Grammy, she's left out of certain conversations. She is. People don't want to admit it, but she is. She's left out of, it's like I said, it's like a championship ring. You may say you don't want it and you don't need it, but that is a part of the reason of why people, that's why it's a lot of times they're so, oh my God, surreal moments when they're standing up there giving a Grammy speech. That's in everybody's dream. That's in everybody's dream. A lot of people like to try to play it off like they don't care. Remember Drake a record a long time ago? I never threw away the paper for my Grammy speech because I haven't missed the pinnacles I plan to reach. He was talking about Grammys way back then. So it means a lot to them. It does. They could try to act like they don't care. Maybe it doesn't mean so much you once you've won a couple and you're like, I don't really care. But to never won one, yeah, she cares. That's why she always has something. That's why she always goes off about it. It bothers her. As much as she likes to say it doesn't. It bothers her. That's like being a writer and being a top writer and never winning a Marconi, for a newscast, I believe that is for. Never winning a Marconi. Or writing a book and never having a bestseller. Never making the bestsellers list. You know? So it's like the Grammy is like the championship ring. It's just like the Oscar in acting. You look up at all the great actors and actresses, and they're gonna be saying, "Okay, yeah, she's good, but did she ever win an Oscar for anything?" So Angela Bassett is good. She's good, but I can't put you in the same category as Sophie's Choice. I can't. As much as I may enjoy Angela Bassett as an actress, or as much as I may think that Angela Bassett is better than, what's the name? I can never think of old girl's name. Sophie's Choice. Can never think of her name. And as much as I think Angela Bassett is great, I can't put her in the category with Sophie's Choice because she hasn't won that Oscar. You may think that Angela Bassett is a better actress than Halle Berry. I don't know if there's anybody around that's going to say that Angela Bassett is not a better actress or not as good an actress as Halle Berry. But Halle Berry got that hardware. She got the ring. Meryl Streep, thank you. Thank you. So I may enjoy her as much as I enjoy Meryl Streep, but I can't put Aunt Angie over Meryl Streep. I can't do it. Meryl Streep has that hardware. And she's got multiple championships. So I can't do it. It's like putting Iverson over Steph Curry. Oh, but Iverson, he took it to the hole. He led the team scoring, blah, blah, blah. He never won a chip. He's never going to be Steph Curry. He's never going to be Isaiah Thomas. So with Nicki Minaj, people are always going to be like, yes, Nicki's great and she's the queen of rap, but I can't put her over Lauryn Hill. I can't do it. If we're gonna break down and get technical, if you're gonna say, "Oh, Missy Elliott, oh my, she raps way better than Missy Elliott," she may, but I think Missy got that hardware. Don't Missy Elliott got a Grammy? So that's why I feel a little bit funny about Doechi winning won Best Actress. Meryl has only one for supporting. Huh? Will Nikki ever get a Grammy? Um, Darius, the reason why I'm going to say no is because they want Nikki to humble herself, to apologize to the Academy for the things she said about him, for saying that it's rigged, for saying that they got something against her. They want her to apologize to the Academy, and I don't think she will ever do that. So that's why I say I don't think she will ever win a Grammy. Right? Her best bet to me, Nicki Minaj's best bet to me to win a Grammy is to just stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. And just when Grammy time comes around, submit your music, whatever you're going to submit, and don't say anything else about it. Because if they like to feel as though you're press, like you're pressed for the Grammy. They like to feel as though they're in power. And if you go in there and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, either I'll get it or I won't. Look at how Drake in The Weeknd was acting. They were still nominating them for Grammys. Drake was still winning Grammys even after he told them he wasn't coming no more. So if I'm her, I just say, you know what? I'm gonna submit my music. If I win it, fine. If I don't win it, fine. But I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna complain online. If I see any Barbs complaining, I'm gonna tell them to shut the F up. You know what I mean? If she does that, she's got a much better chance than complaining every year. She would need someone else to vouch for her. Her vouching for herself or her fans vouching for her is not gonna work. You would need someone the same way how Jay-Z came out and said, "What's going on here?" She would need somebody to come out and say, "Wait a minute, I just noticed 67 years, 67 seasons, and Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap, has never won a Grammy." Do y'all know that? They need somebody to come out there because I'm telling you, a lot of people in the crowd don't know. Her fans know, but I'd be willing to bet you people like uh Stevie Wonder, uh, people like that, Madonna, they're probably like, wait a minute, Nicki Minaj never won a Grammy? They probably have no idea. There's a lot of people that have, because if I didn't hear somebody say it, I even said the first time I heard it, wait a minute, Nicki Minaj don't have a Grammy? All the times I used to see her up there accepting awards, and people was like, nah. And I said, she didn't win new artist? No. Yeah, I remember a lot of people thought that she won best artist, new artist. So it's gonna take somebody vouching for her to say, listen, y'all got this process is flawed. How can the queen of something not have a Grammy? Y'all need to at least look into that. They gotta bring it up and get put on blast. But she's going to need someone else to do that, not herself. Like, oh, I had never won a Grammy. How could y'all not give me no Grammy? This is ridiculous. So now that's not going to work. But now everybody's saying Doechi is the new, not the new queen of rap, the current queen of rap. I've heard this several times today. I heard on a radio in Toronto, the current queen of rap. Now they playing her music. I ain't never heard a Doechi record on the radio this whole time. Today, I done heard her song 3 times. All the way up in Toronto. You know? Now, real quick. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles. Finally wins Album of the Year. And I have to say a congratulations out to Beyonce. Like she said, just in order to see at her age and as much as trials and tribulations she's been through, as much as stuff she's been through, for her to still be wanting to do this in her 40s and still do it on a high level. It's like LeBron. Reminds me of LeBron. Like LeBron, you know, there's a lot of people out there performing at Beyonce's age and older, and they're just like going through the motions. They're not even trying to sound their best. They don't care whether they sound their best because they can always go to, well, I'm old anyway. I'm old. They'll understand. No, Beyonce really goes out there and tries to do like LeBron and still perform at a high level, much higher level for 40-year-olds. She's not going to go out there and sound like she did when she's 25, 26. And she's not going to move like she did when she's 25, 26. But just the fact that she's still motivated enough to do this, she's getting ready to go on another tour. She's getting ready to go on another tour. The Cowboy Carter tour. So I give her props just that she's still motivated enough to do this. Now, as far as the album goes, I'm not into country music, but because it was Beyonce, because she's a black woman making country music, I did support and buy her album. I don't even buy albums like that. I did support buy album. I did just for the support fact. I did listen to it one time. But like I said, I'm not a country music fan. But I did like the song she did with Miley Cyrus. And she did win an award for that show. But I believe that if Jay-Z would have never gotten up on that stage and put the Grammys on notice and say, I see what y'all doing. Just want y'all to know you're not low. You're not low. I see what y'all trying to do here. You trying to give my wife all these other awards to try to soft soak her because you have no plan on giving her Album of the Year. I see you. I see what you're trying to do. I just want y'all to know that's ludicrous that she's won 33 awards and she's never won Album of the Year. And then he talked to the crowd. Isn't that silly? And the crowd, yeah, that is silly. When you think about it, Beyonce's never won Album of the Year. See, and then you plant that seed in their head. Now you got people like Adele and people that, listen, you know Adele's on Beyonce's bra strap anyway. You guys have to get Beyonce this album of the year. This is absolutely ludicrous. Then she started repeating stuff that Jay said. Do you realize that she has 33 awards and never won album of the year? This is ridiculous, guys. And you start getting people like Adele and I don't know if Taylor called, Taylor don't want her to win. Taylor Swift. Taylor's the funniest person in music because she was steaming when she got swept last night. But Taylor still keep clapping. I lost another one. Yay! That's 0 for 6 tonight, guys. Yes! Oh, Taylor Swift was pissed. But Taylor Swift is never going to show. She's never going to show you that she's bothered. When she said, and the winner is, below her belt, she said, this bitch, Cowboy Carter. and God forbid when she won album of the year. And she beat out Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift put so much into that, the Lost Poet Society, whatever the hell it's called. Now, don't get me wrong. That was a good album. And I don't even listen to Taylor Swift like that. Taylor was up there. She had the red dress on, looking extra thick. I was like, either Taylor been eating mashed potatoes or she been taking an excessive amount of cock lately. Because Taylor was looking thick in that red dress. I said, holy shit. Taylor been eating mashed potatoes and fried chicken. I don't think I've ever, I saw it on G's page. She said, I don't think I've ever seen Taylor. So, me neither. I said, look at Taylor. Okay. Taylor had a red dress on. And poor Billie but Billie Eilish, again, Billie Eilish is a very underrated artist because she's been right smack in the middle of the Ariana era, right? She's been right smack in the middle of the Ariana era, the Olivia Rodrigo era, and still having to deal with Taylor Swift. And Billie Eilish has still come out of there. What has she got? 5 or 6 Grammys? So Billie Eilish, she's like she's like Tim Duncan, right? Where it's like Tim Duncan got rings, managed to get rings in the Shaq and Kobe era where they were just dominant. The era of the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys 2 era, whatever, the Big 3 era with the Boston Celtics, and then the LeBron era with the Heat. And Tim Duncan still managed to get 5 rings out of that. Right? Out of all those eras, that's Billie Eilish to me. She's like the Tim Duncan of women pop. Because she had to absorb the Ariana era. She had to absorb the quick Olivia Rodrigo, the quick era with Olivia Rodrigo. And now she has to indulge Beyonce and freaking Taylor Swift. And somehow or another, Billie Eilish still comes out of there most of the time with a Grammy. So I give Billie Eilish a lot of credit. I give her a lot of credit. So I don't really think that Billie Eilish really cares too much about losing. But that was a really good album. But Taylor Swift put so much into that. What's it called? The Dead Poet Society. I can never. What's the name of that album? The Hurt the Hurt Poet. What's the name of the album? Yeah, the Tortured Poets Department. That album was really good. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. That album was really good. Did I enjoy it more than Cowboy Carter? Yes, because I don't like country music. Right? I don't like country music. So yes, I enjoyed it more than Cowboy Carter. But but Beyonce's Cowboy Carter was a strategic move. That was a strategic album. She said, well, hell, I can't win it doing pop. I can't win it doing dance. I tried that with Renaissance. I tried it doing a straight R&B album. Didn't work. I tried doing a pop R&B album. Didn't work. I tried doing an adult contemporary. I tried doing a R&B-ish type rap. None of it worked. So let me try. Let me try to talk their language. I'm gonna talk their language. I'm put out a country album. So there is a lot. If you look at the people out there in that audience, man, there was a lot of unhappy white folks. There's a lot of unhappy white folks out there. They was trying not to show it, but a couple of them, they just could not. You saw the sour faces out there. Man. Whew. Sourpuss. Pick your face up, girl. There's a couple of girls out there like, I can't stand her. Fucking niggers. Like, they have to come over to country now? Fucking niggers. Uh, but listen, man. Shout out to Beyonce, man. You know, you got a husband that ride out for you. And Jay-Z is partly responsible for why you won that Grammy. Let's just keep it a buck. And the other part would be that, you know, it was, from what they say, a good country album. And, you know, Beyonce always, you know, she's going to make a hit. She's going to find a way to make a hit. Right? But the main topic, and of course, real quick on Chappelle Rome and her comment, and she ate them up, didn't she? Her comment about the healthcare and labels, when she said, we got you, but do you got us? I was like, oop. Well, do you? You heard her. I know all the label execs probably sunk in their seats like, I ain't in it. But that was great. That was great that she said that. Like, well, do y'all? Now we have to talk about the biggest portrayal in recent music history. And that is the entire industry turning on Drake. The entire industry. What do you mean by that, Heaven? What do you mean the entire industry turning on Drake? Well, if you've been around the industry as long as I have, you already seen this play coming. And Drake kind of already saw it coming. That's why he strategically planned the trip to Australia during Grammy weekend and Super Bowl week. Trust me, he will not be coming back until after the Super Bowl is over, maybe even a week or two after. So he strategically pretty much knew what was going to happen. That's why he filed the lawsuits and tried to get them out there circulating, because he's sitting back like, okay, Jay-Z is the head of it. You know he's going to be with the shit. You know he's not going to do me no favors. But then he goes and puts the picture of Solange, you know, and then people start taking it. Oh, what's he mean? What's he talking about? Right? And then when people start saying, oh, is that a shot at Jay-Z? You know, Drake does what Drake normally does and doesn't clear it up, doesn't say, nah, I'm not taking a shot at Jay. Right? So it lets people believe that even if it isn't a shot at Jay, you're going to let people believe it's a shot at Jay. I mean, that's usually what Drake does. He did the same thing with Kim K, where he could always say, I never said I smashed Kim K. Yeah, but when you saw everybody saying you smashed Kim K, you never came out and said you didn't either. So that's kind of like a gaslight tactic. I mean, so that's like saying, you know, if somebody see me coming out of the you know, somebody see my pictures with Megan Good, right? And they be like, oh, Hev, yo, you smashed that, son? And you be like, come on, you know me, son. Right? Or just smile. Yeah, I mean, give them a dap. Like, yo. It's like, I never really said I did, but you gaslight them into thinking that you did by saying, you know me, son. And then if it ever come out like Megan Good says, I didn't smash that nigga, and I'd be like, I never said I smashed Megan Good. Y'all lying on me. I said, you know me, son. If you know me, you know I didn't smash. But so he just left it out there for interpretation. Well, Jay-Z and Beyonce has people online. They're a little slow with it, and they you know, they're not on all the time. But Jay-Z and Beyonce have people online watching certain things. So I'm sure they repeated back to him, oh, he's trying to be shady with the Solange thing. And of course, we pretty much know that Drake and Jay-Z ain't really been on the same you know, been on the same page for a long time. Most of the time when they were doing records together, it was really just business. But ever since that whole thing with Kanye and Jay-Z, giving him a hook and no verse, or like a 2-second verse, and then there was the records that Drake had with Beyonce and that Jay never let come out. Then they're supposed to do the video for, that song that she had on the Beyonce album, and the video treatment was supposed to be way more intimate than what it was. And Jay-Z changed his mind, said he'd never let Drake will never touch his wife. So so they've been a little rocky. Then the whole thing with DJ Drama, and everybody knows, or maybe they don't know, that Jay-Z was the one behind those reference tracks coming out. Now, it was DJ Drama who leaked them, but it was Jay-Z who made them leak them. It was Jay putting pressure on DJ Drama. Right? So they've always had that little beef or animosity. Not even really animosity, just that competition. And the whole, you're talking about, why are you talking about paintings and this, that, and the third? And I'm gonna get it. I used to want to be Ye, but then now my house is bigger than, used to want to be J, but now my house is bigger. Whatever he was saying. And Jay-Z came back with the sorry, Miss Drizzy, sending me to talk about things that I got, So they've been going back and forth for a while, going back and forth to each other on the Pound Cake song. We know all those things. So now with the whole Kendrick for the Super Bowl, and he's screwing over Drake's boss. And the reason why he did that is because he knew that Wayne was going to probably bring out Drake and Nicki. If Wayne is doing a Super Bowl, he's going to bring out Drake and Nicki, at least for one song. So Jay-Z was basically saying, nah, she's online talking about me, calling me names, throwing sub shots at Desiree. Fuck her. Throwing shots at Meg. Jay-Z allegedly told her, you're going to need a favor from me one day. I'm asking you to stop it with your shots at Megan. And Nicki stopped for a while. She stopped for a while, but then went back on, went back in. So they got that history going on. So you got it coming from different angles and different sides. You got the Rock Nation, the Jay-Z stuff with Drake. Then you got the whole Jay-Z, the whole Drake Beyonce fiasco with the Heated song. Heated. When Drake went and put the reference track on YouTube, and now that shit is wiped off completely. Drake had uploaded his version of Heated that he wrote for Beyonce, or he wrote and Beyonce, and they gave it to Beyonce, whichever one. He either wrote it for Beyonce or he had already had it written and Beyonce wanted it. But at any rate, everybody knows that Beyonce hates people putting their reference track on YouTube Because what she does is, and she's become a master of it, is that she's found little ways to manipulate the publishing, like over the years, and that comes from dealing with Jay-Z. So Beyonce knows from she did it to Alanis Morissette, she did it to Sia, she did it to Carrie Hilson. Like, so Beyonce knows how to manipulate publishing. She did it to Neo. So she doesn't want Drake putting his reference track on YouTube, because then people can be like, well, you really didn't change anything. You added the rap. So when Drake uploaded his version, Beyonce sent a cease and desist on a song that he wrote. Now, if you go online and you type in Drake Heated, you can't find it. And every time somebody uploads it, within 2 or 3 days, it's down. Well, I don't even know why he would call Drake and think that Drake is going to take down that story, because Drake's not even really messing with him right now. So Drake would have been like, you ain't telling Kendrick to take down that fake song about me. So I know you ain't asking me for no favors. Now again, I do everything on a case-by-case basis. I'm not going to, because I like somebody, I'm not going to be on their side 100% of the time. Because I dislike somebody, I'm not going to be against them 100% of the time, unless it's required. I go by a case-by-case basis, right? That don't mean I'm on that person's side. Just like people get it twisted and they think, oh, you're on Diddy's side, just because I don't think that those other lawsuits have any merit. I just don't. I thought he was wrong in the Cassie situation. I definitely thought he was, even before the tape. I been knew about him beating up Cassie. So I always thought he was wrong in that situation. But like I said before, just because you robbed the candy store, just because you robbed candy stores, and then all of a sudden that bank on the same street gets robbed, you shouldn't have to go down for the bank too, just because you robbed the candy store. Like, oh yeah, he robbed that bank on the corner. He probably did rob the candy store. I mean, he robbed that candy store. He probably did rob the bank. He robbed the candy store. Just because you robbed the candy store, that don't mean you robbed the bank. So like I said, I go on a case-by-case basis. Oh, you saw what he did to Cassie, right? That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Just because he did that to Cassie, that don't mean he did that to everybody. So just because I rock with Jay-Z on certain situations, if there's situations where I feel as though he's wrong, I'm not going to rock with him. And I feel as though he's wrong for allowing Kendrick Lamar to spew those allegations at Drake when you're going through the exact same thing and you're having a heart attack that you're getting unfairly accused. And looking at that case, I agree with Jay-Z. Jay-Z did not R that girl. This girl that we're talking about. Now, I don't know about any cases down the line or whatever, but all I can go is on a case-by-case basis. This 13-year-old that they're talking about, Jay-Z didn't do nothing to that girl. He never even met that girl. That don't mean if another case comes down the line 3 years from now or 3 months from now and has some evidence, I'm not going to be like, well, you see what happened with the other one. He didn't do the other one, so he didn't do this one. No. I go on a case-by-case basis. And you are complaining and having a fit about somebody who is unfairly accusing you of SA on a minor, only to be promoting Kendrick Lamar, who is unfairly accusing someone of SA on a minor. Like, how can you be cool with that, but you're not cool with it when it's happening to you? So he's wrong for that. What's up, Mark? Yeah, Billy got an Oscar. Billy Eilish is that girl. Billie Eilish is that girl. Like she gonna find a way to get her accolades. With Taylor Swift, without Taylor Swift, with Ariana Grande, without Ariana Grande. You can bring on whoever you want to bring on. Olivia Rodrigo, Dua Lipa, what's the other one? Doja Cat, Beyonce, Rihanna. It don't matter. Billie Eilish is gonna get hers. That's what happens when you're in your own lane. That's what happens when no one else sounds like you and can make songs like you. That's what happens when no one else acts like you or carries themselves like you. You know? The Adele era too. Don't forget about that. Even though she came in on the tail end, but she was also in the middle of the Adele era. When Adele was cleaning everybody up. But last night showed us one thing. The industry is ready. It's just like Luka Doncic getting traded. Luka Doncic getting traded to the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James knowing nothing about it. As a Laker fan, I've been a Laker fan since I was a kid. That's showing me what? LeBron didn't know nothing about it. So what are they saying? What they're saying is they're ready to turn the page on the LeBron James era. Because if there was a big trade, the biggest trade probably in NBA history, and LeBron James didn't even know what's happening, and they're trading his teammate, his close friend Anthony Davis, and he didn't even know Anthony Davis was getting traded, that lets me know that they're ready to move on from LeBron. And they're pretty much going to say, you can retire at the end of the year, or if you want to come back, we'll take you back. You can ask for a trade. You can sign somewhere else. We don't give a fuck. This is now entering the Luka Doncic era. What the music industry said to us last night was, we are ready to move on from the Drake era, and we're going to enter the era of Kendrick Lamar. That's what that told me. Because the way they had that whole thing calculated and set up, record of the year and song of the year, right behind each other. By the time I know they timed it, the timing. It said, get up when this part comes on, walk this way to the stage. So right as you're walking up the stage, Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile will be playing. Wop, 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 wop. And right as you're getting ready to get it, it will be at A minor. They rehearsed that without a doubt. Without a doubt. So they basically are saying, we don't care about your stupid lawsuit. We don't give a damn. We don't care if they're trying to say that, even though I don't believe it, they're trying to say that Drake is responsible for the girl who's suing TDE. And they basically let you know, yeah, we know that Dre has some cases. We don't care. Yeah, we know that Dre got a 16-year-old pregnant. We don't care. We're talking about you. Yeah, we know Dre has beat up multiple women, including his ex-wife. We don't care. Kendrick is trying to get rid of you, and that's all we care about. And it's a messed up situation because, again, a lot of these people are being sued for SA or grape, and it's a lot of them that's done turned on Drake. But the one person who they're accusing of being the PDF file is the one person who don't got no paperwork on them. Dr. Dre, you said something, you done been on paperwork. Metro is being sued for SA. What's the other one's name? Metro. Mr. Besse. TDE just caught a case. Kendrick Lamar, whether you want to admit it or not, there are multiple eyewitnesses that said they was there and they saw in 2014 when you beat up Whitney. Now, listen, you can believe it or you cannot believe it, but there are people on record saying that you beat up Whitney in Vegas. That's not Drake making that up. You can find that. But we don't know that. That's not cap. So if it's cap, then the girl, I remember, this was 2004. This was long before the battle. This girl worked at the hotel. You can go back and look for it. So unless you was there, how can you say that's cap? You can't say that's cap if you wasn't there and this girl said she worked at the hotel. How can we sit and honestly say that's cap? Just say, oh, I don't believe it. But you can't say that's cap if a girl is sitting in front of a thing and she's not looking for clout, because this was 2014. This 2014. Kendrick wasn't even blown up like that. So if it's a lie, she told it. I've seen the video. Then I saw another person basically echoing the same story. And it obviously got out there because they asked them about it on the Breakfast Club. So unless we're there, we can't say that's cap, because we don't know whether it's cap or not. Now you can say, no, I don't believe that. That's fine. But unless you were there, you can't say, you cannot, honestly say it's cap because you don't know. That's like, just like how I said, I don't know whether it's true, but I do know there's somebody saying that it's true. And the only person that's saying it ain't true on Kendrick Lamar's side is Kendrick Lamar. Meanwhile, they accuse Drake of being a PDF, right? And what they used was the Millie Bobby Brown text, the Billie Eilish text, the 17-year-old in Milwaukee, and Jimmy Jam's daughter. Millie Bobby Brown came out and debunked. The 17-year-old in Milwaukee came out and debunked. Jimmy Jam's daughter came out and debunked. And Billie Eilish came out and debunked. And those are supposed to be the girls involved. The only person that you didn't see Whitney come out and debunk it. She still hadn't debunked it. And just because she was hopping around in his video, that does not debunk it. Because Cassie was hopping around with Diddy after he dragged her through that hotel, wasn't she? So just because she showed up in his video and was hopping around in a circle, that don't debunk shit. That don't debunk shit. Because you had an opportunity to say, just simply go online and say, that's a lie. That's a lie. She had no problem going online and crying out for help and putting all these cryptic messages on her Instagram stories. So the one person that they're accusing of being an SA, every single girl that they said, oh yeah, he was SAing Millie Bobby Brown, she came out and said that was a lie. Billie Eilish came out and said it was a lie. The girl in Wisconsin and her daddy, the girl in Wisconsin and her father came out and said it was a lie. And Jimmy Jam's daughter came out and said it was a lie. That report was false. She said, I never went to dinner with Drake. That was not me. Said I met him one time backstage because my father took me to his concert. And the picture that we took of me hugging him, my father took the picture. And she said, I was not dating him. I never dated him. I never went on a date with him. But they showed me, if one thing they showed me, he's going to perform that song at the Super Bowl, and they're going to let him do that part. If they let him do it on national TV with the Grammys, why won't they let him do it at the Super Bowl? So they pretty much gave Drake a big middle finger and said, yeah, we know that you helped a lot of us. Most of the people that came after you, you've had some sort of influence or help. Gave them a song for a cheap rate. Gave some songs Drake didn't even charge for. Gave people like DMX a bag, even though DMX talked shit about Drake. said he don't like his look, he don't like his face, he don't like this, he don't like that. And then what does Drake do? Turns around and gives DMX a bag. Because he said, the house is going down. What's all that I got to know now? He didn't even have to tell DMX a mother freaking thing. But just out of respect, even though he knew DMX was sitting on him and insulting him, he still turned around and gave DMX a bag when he didn't have to. And you hear stories about this dude throughout the history of the music industry. And you hear Kendrick Lamar say, oh, if it wasn't for Drake taking me on tour, I don't know what would happen. Oh, I was usually performing in front of 2,000 people, and Drake took me on tour, and I was performing in front of 15,000 people. And his record label told him not to take me on tour, but he ignored them, and he did it anyway. And J. Cole, and The Weeknd, and Glorilla, and this, and A$AP Rocky, and Lotto, and 21 Savage, and Sexy Red. All these people, Yachty, Game, who he gave pretty much an appearance for free. All these people, they're pretty much saying, we got what we want. Rick Ross, fat ass. We got what we wanted out of you. Kick rocks. That's what I was seeing. That's what I was shown at that Grammy Awards. The industry is turned on Drake. So we're going to see what happens. If I'm Drake, I say a big F you back. You won't ever hear from me again. I'm going to take my money, my 300 million or whatever I got, bring it to Canada while it still got some value. It'll be 500 million in Canada. And I'll never make another record again in America. Fuck y'all. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Anyway, let me get up out of here. This has been another installment of the Heaven Hollywood Experience.
Don't you forget about me.